Hi, what's up guys, Ramsey here. I'm going to try to give you a short and simple Kindle Fire review. Just came in the mail today, and we are looking at the brand new Kindle Fire from Amazon. It is a $200 device. It's 8 gigs, 7-inch tablet, Wi-Fi only. Everyone is curious if this is the iPad killer, and let's take a look at it real quick. What we are looking at right now is what's called the carousel. So all of your apps that you have running, or anything that you load on the Kindle Fire, this is actually the screen that you see. Unfortunately, you can't actually delete anything from here, so you have to be really careful what you load up here if you don't want other people to see what you're pulling up. So, the weight of it, by the way, pretty solid. I like the feel of it. The 7 inches for a tablet is definitely smaller than an iPad. So for those of you who are used to that size, you may not like this size in particular, but it feels comfortable. And when you open up things like books, so for example, it comes loaded with a dictionary, and we'll open this up and see what this is like. Once you load this, it actually feels really natural in terms of the screen size with the text. We had an iPad up earlier actually and comparing it, and the iPad was just so much wider and it doesn't feel like a book. This feels a lot like a book. You'll notice here actually when you tap on the screen, there is no button at the bottom like the iPad to go home, so you actually have to click this particular icon right here, which takes you to the home screen. So let's look at the web browser. The web browser, which is called Silk, is an experimental browser. People have been talking about this because it actually uses server-side caching and it's supposed to be faster. I haven't noticed much of a difference with it. I've got Gmail running, which for those of you who do not know, Gmail is not actually natively running on the Amazon Kindle. It's not a true Android tablet, so it doesn't have things like email built into it, so you have to run things like the web-based version of Gmail. However, the browser does feel pretty good. It is pretty responsive, and in general you actually notice how the screen moves pretty quickly depending on how you touch the screen. And I know the reason why I point that out is that other tablets don't they're not as responsive, actually, as the iPad. An iPad seems to be the sort of benchmark in which people want to interact with touchscreens. So let's look at a couple other features. Running music. It's really a very content-centric device. I downloaded an Adele song, and if you load it up here, it syncs with Amazon's cloud service, which is pretty sweet. But it's actually pretty impressive in terms of how quickly things load. You'll notice that loaded very fast, and there's actually 2 speakers at the top here, and actually only a headphone jack and a power button. That's it in terms of buttons on the particular device. What I did find really impressive, and probably which makes this is probably the most notable feature of the Amazon Kindle, is video. So I was loading up a Lost episode, which if you have an Amazon Prime account, which I do, it's actually a really great service. You'll notice how quick it loads. So I'm actually playing an episode from Lost here. We're using Wi-Fi, obviously, because Wi-Fi is the only type of connection you can use to access content on this particular device. You'll notice that it loaded really quick. It looks gorgeous. And if you scan into different parts of this episode of Lost, it's pretty responsive, and the load time for that was pretty quick. So really, in all, I think the upshot for the Amazon Kindle, and just the hour I've had to work with it, is if you travel a lot, the $200 price point, this is the device to get. You don't need an iPad if you really just want a consumption device where you can listen to music, watch movies, and things like that. But it isn't an iPad killer. I don't think it's an iPad killer, and the reason being is that you get what you pay for. It's not a device where if you want to use it for dedicated Twitter or writing emails, because it doesn't even have an email app. What Amazon really is trying to do is amplify what it provides, which is content. That's music, that's movies, that's video, that's books, and that's what this device does. It does it really well, and at $200, it's a great gift price. So if you're looking for something to get Dad, and he's kind of a gadget guy, this is a great device. Check it out, Amazon.com.